Hola, estudiantes de Español 3. Your title today for Gramática número 3, grammar number 3, is subject pronouns. This is the most important grammar topic of the year, so you need to take the best notes you've ever taken. You need to definitely ask questions if you don't understand something, and you need to make sure that you are memorizing. This is the foundation for all other grammar topics in the future. So everything you see, you must write it down. This is the most important topic. Okay, subject pronouns are the foundation to learning how to communicate well in Spanish. The foundation. That means that it's very important. You must memorize the subject pronouns to be successful and accurate. And must is the key word. Absolutely necessary. And then ask any Spanish 2 or 3 student. This is absolutely necessary for Spanish 1 and on. So moving on in this year and in the future of Spanish 2, which everyone has to take, you must know it. Very important. So write those 3 bullet points down, pause it if you need more time. All right, so we're going to start with explore the grammar, explora la gramática. And this is just a rhetorical question. You don't need to write it down. You don't need to write the question down, but it says, what do you remember about the subjects tú and usted? These are only 2 of the subject pronouns. So we're going to look at some others in scripture, and the bolded words that you see are the subject pronouns. So if you want to jot down the answer to the question, what do you remember about tú versus usted, you can, but if you know it well, if you feel like you've mastered it, don't worry about writing that down. I do want you to jot down the bolded words that you see in these verses. So the first one is Génesis. There should be an accent on the E, not on the I. Génesis 2:23. Ella será llamada mujer porque fue tomada del hombre. She will be called woman because she was taken from the man. Ella, she. Okay, so write down ella, she. Génesis 9:11. Sí, yo confirmo mi pacto con ustedes. I confirm my promise with you, or I confirm my pact with you. So you have yo and ustedes, which you probably should know from Unidad Uno. Yo is I, and ustedes is you all, and that's formal. Mateo 6:26. Y no son ustedes para él mucho más valiosos que ellos, and are you all not to him much more valuable than they? And that's referring to the scripture about the birds and how he takes care of the birds of the air. And if he takes care of them, he'll take care of us. So we have the writer, Mateo, talking to ustedes, you all, okay? Para él referring to Christ, so he, mucho más valiosos que ellos. Ellos referring to los pájaros, the birds, which is they. So again, you have ella is she, yo is I, ustedes is you all formal, él is he, and ellos is they. And you also need to write down this language lingo. These are definitions to parts of speech that you should know from English, but they're across the board the same definition. So make sure you write them down as a review for English and also to help prepare for this grammar topic. So a noun, obviously, hopefully you know this. A noun is a person, place, or thing. It can be the subject or object of a sentence. In this case, the nouns we're looking at are the subjects because we are doing subject pronouns. Now, a pronoun is a word that replaces a noun, helps avoid repetition. So you won't have to say Maria 3 times. You can eventually say she. So she would be the pronoun. So this topic is combining the idea of subjects, the doer of the verb, with a replacement for the subject, which makes it a pronoun. So now instead of having names, we have pronouns like he, she, they, and you all. All right, so compara la gramática, compare the grammar. You do need to write these down. So the difference between Spanish and English, how are subject pronouns different in both languages? So the first thing, there is a formal and informal way to speak to others. And we've discussed that in Unidad Uno. That's really the answer to the question, what's the difference between tú and usted? They both mean you. We don't differentiate in English, but in Spanish you have to do that. So there's a formal way, the usted, and an informal way, the tú. And then also another difference, there are a few subject pronouns that change spelling when referring to a group of females. For example, ellos we said is they, but that's referring to males. So if you're saying a group of females, it would be ellas. Nosotros and vosotros are 2 other subject pronouns we'll learn, and they also change to nosotras with an as and vosotras when you put them in the feminine form. And then when you're not sure, so let's say there's a group of boys and girls or men and women, you have to make the subject pronoun masculine plural and keep it masculine. So always convert it or change it to masculine, even if it's just one male that's in the group. So it could be 20 girls and one boy, and it's still going to be masculine. You would say ellos. If it's only a group of girls, you say ellas. So pause, write down these bullet points, and if you have questions, let me know about this one. All right, so the title of this last part is the chart, and I'm calling it the chart because this is the most important chart that you're going to learn the whole year. And when I say chart, you'll see what I mean. It's just a table that helps organize the subject pronouns, but it's in this form for a very specific reason, and I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so you need to do your best to make this a 3-column. So you have the first column here is the first person, second person, and third person. This is helping you figure out what is it talking about, like I or you, or is it third person talking about somebody else? And then your those are the rows, sorry. And then the second column is singular. So everything in this column, the yo, tú, él, ella, usted is singular. And then your third column is plural, and everything in this column is plural. So it's more than one person. So it's kind of like a grid. If you say second person plural, it would be talking about vosotros. If you said first person singular, it would be yo. If it was third person plural, it would be in the ellos, ellas, ustedes group. So there's 6 different options. You have first person singular, first person plural, second person singular, second person plural, third person singular, and third person plural. And then if you just go by the columns, you have all the singular ones are on the left side and all the plural pronouns are on the right side. So technically you could say that nosotros is the plural form of yo, vosotros is the plural form of tú, ellos is the plural form of él, ellas is the plural form of ella, and ustedes is the plural form of usted. So the spot that you write the subject pronoun in this chart is more important than just memorizing the Spanish and the English. If all you do is memorize Spanish to English, you are only memorizing vocabulary and you're not understanding how the chart works. Now, today in this video, you're not going to understand the significance of how important this chart is and why it's set up this way. But if you don't memorize the location of each subject pronoun in the chart, you will not be set up for success when it comes to the continuing grammar topics in Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4 throughout the whole year, and in Spanish too. Every verb that we do, everything that we learn in the future about sentences and putting them together and you understanding it falls back on this chart. It's absolutely necessary, which I hope I emphasized in the beginning of the video. So you need to pause. You need to write everything down meticulously, as accurate as possible, near perfection, the spelling, the translation, the location of it, even the little accents. Tú and él have an accent. Don't mix up the translation. So, él is he, ella is she, usted is you formal. Ellos is they masculine, ellas is they feminine, and ustedes is you all formal. Okay, now I know that usted and ustedes are translated you or you all, and we know that as second person. But remember, in Spanish, it's different. We have a differentiation between the informal and the formal. So if they're in the same box, they're not really the same. If they're in the same box, they are the same as far as formality. And in order to differentiate them, we put them as third person. So usted formal, ustedes the formal, they're considered third person, but in in English, they're technically second. So keep them with the third person. Don't move the things around. Pause it, write it down. Please ask questions about this if you have it. If you're not sure why, one's in a certain spot, if you're not sure what first person, second person, third person mean, or why there's different endings, let me know and we need to work through it before we move on. There's one little nota gramatical that you need to write down, a little grammar note. The subject vosotros is used mainly in Spain to serve as an informal way to directly address a group of people. So I know the word y'all is debatable on whether or not it is grammatically accurate, but in this class, you will use the word y'all. If you want a thorough explanation of why we're using the word y'all, then please let me know and I will be more than happy to share that with you. But the brief answer is y'all, if the apostrophe is put in the correct place, which is commonly not done, is a contraction of the word you and all. And if you look at ustedes means you all. So the informal way to say that is y'all. So you all, as a contraction, which we have in English, is y'all. And it must be translated as y'all because vosotros is informal. So if we say you all for vosotros, there's no difference in that and ustedes in your translation. So for Spanish 1, 2, and 3, for the purposes of understanding vosotros, which we will use, you must write y'all. Please put the apostrophe in the correct spot to make it an accurate contraction. And again, if you want more of an explanation, I'll give it to you. No, you're not going to use that in formal papers. Okay, that's common sense, not professional papers, because again, the word is not formal. It is informal. Vosotros is an informal way to say you all. So please write it the way you see it. And I say all that in love. Okay, so if you have questions about this grammar topic, let me know. Hope you're doing well, and we will do some practica in class.